Hey guys, Gaga197 again, this time with a review of the 144th scale high-grade Universal Century Qubeley from the Zeta Gundam and Double Zeta Gundam series. So for colors, we mainly get white, see a lot on the limbs, then we have purple for the body. We also get a salmony pink for the hatch here, the upper arm, bit of the lower arm, the heel, and also here on the tail binder. Finally, we also get these blue vents here and on the back here. And onto stickers, and we get a lot of them. For starters, all of these purple, so many pink detailings here, on the sides here, and even more on the back here. All of those are tiny little stickers that you have to apply, but that is completely understandable. I mean, there's no way they would have molded this in plastic, even if this was a modern kit. And then we also get stickers for the eyes here. And on the other side, of course, that's all for stickers we get. So, on to articulation. The head goes all the way back like this, which is very nice. And then only side to side about that far. And you might think it's hindered by these things on the side, but it's actually because of the way the neck is made. It's also really nicely detailed, but as you can see, it's because of the neck. The head also has a little bit of chicken movement going on. And then this hatch here also opens to reveal the cockpit hatch. Back down, and then the arms, and these are really nice. Turn around all the way. Arm goes up by that far, and surprisingly enough, some very far forwards and backwards movement. And then onto the arm binders, and these are super articulated. They're on a hinge here, so they can also turn around, and then they're on another hinge there, and once again can turn around. So whatever you want to do with these binders, they will do it. And go out all the way like that, pull it hard enough, totally out like that. And there's also some really fantastic detailing on here. Nice, some hoses going around here, some thrusters here, and also, if the camera wants to pick it up, there's some detailing on the binder itself as well. So these binders are really fantastic. And on top of that, they also give the model a much more bulky feel and much more intimidating. Then the elbow is unfortunately, well, it isn't two joints, but only goes about 90 degrees. And then the hands are on typical ball joints, so it will turn around, wiggle, and do everything a ball joint does. The waist is once again impressive. It goes up all the way like that, down not really. But yeah, it's of course hindered by this front thing, and also side to side about that far. I think it might be able to turn out all the way if you would, if you'd force it. But this is about as far as that's about as far as feels comfortable. Then the side skirts go out all the way like that, but unfortunately legs only go out about that far. But the real reason you want them to go out that far is for the backwards movement, which is pretty nice. And I think something flew. Oh, one of the beam sabers flew off. That goes out by that far, forwards like so. So it is a very nice movement range. Then the knees are just on a single joint, but you still get about 90 degrees. And this flap here also moves. And the feet, they go forwards nicely like that, backwards about that far, side to side really nicely, and will also turn around that far. And the tip is actually on a separate joint, so it goes down nicely like that, not really up, and that's about it. Oh yeah, one more thing about the feet is they're not quite sturdy enough to really hold up the model all the time. If it's bent over a bit too much, it will inevitably fall. So always make sure that when you put it down, it's leaning a bit more backwards because the feet, they just aren't strong enough and the upper body is quite heavy. Then on to accessories. And let's immediately start off with the one that flew off. Unfortunately, there's also one on the other arm. So this is a tiny little beam saber slash beam rifle. Unfortunately, even though you can remove it, it's not going to work. What we do get, however, is two very nice transparent beam sabers. They're molded as one piece, but hey, since this is an old kit, there's no way we can complain. At least they molded it in clear plastic. Something that cannot be said for the seed line, which was about the same time. Also, it holds them without any problems at all. Well, unless you really start shaking them. Then, the other accessory we get are is a set of open hands. Really nicely. And off you go, and in you go. This is of course the hand when the funnels are being released. And you get 10 of the bastards on the tail binder here. They can be removed, but there isn't really any reason to do so because unfortunately you do not get a stand or you don't get wires or anything to pose them. What you could do, however, is try to link them up to some wires yourself because, as you can see, there is a little indent here that goes onto a peg inside the binder. So you could try to glue a thread to that or something to make it look like they're flying out. Then a final thing you can also do is it kind of has like a flying mode. That is also why you need these hands. Let's see, pull out the other one and put this in. And oh yeah, another reason you cannot use this as a beam saber is because it is just not long enough. You can see, it should be a bit longer. Now, onto the improvised flying mode. Step 1, move the head up, kind of arc it like so. Then this kind of has to go out like that. About this. Then the arm goes up. And like I said, it's, well, kind of improvised. And then these go back like so. And this folds in. And that's about it. This is the flying mode. Not quite different. Yeah, the flying mode, I don't know. Well, it does look nice, but it's not different enough to really call it a separate mode. It's just, change its pose a little bit. This is something even a human could pull off, though I wouldn't recommend trying it. Well, I mean trying it and jumping off a building. That probably wouldn't work out that way. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? Absolutely yes. For 1,500 yen, it is one of the more expensive early high-grade universal centuries, but it's definitely worth it. It's big, it's bulky, yet it's still elegant. And perhaps most importantly of all, it's a very unique mobile suit in a good way. There's nothing quite like the Qubeley. Unless, of course, the Qubeley Mark II or the mass production type. But other than those, it's very unique. And also, I find that the Qubeley has a lot of posing abilities. Even though the articulation isn't superb, for today's standards, it's still good enough to pull off quite a lot of very interesting poses. Especially if you add in an action base. Now, for some size comparisons, here it is. Next to the HGUC, I'm sure there's no problem at all putting these two next to each other. Let's also do a comparison with another bulky mobile suit, the Double Zeta. As you can see, in height, they're kind of the same when counting everything, but when you put them in front of each other, you can see the Qubeley is still more massive. And finally, let's compare it to a normal size mobile suit, the Gym Sniper 2. And as you can see, it's quite a lot more impressive. Well, that's all for this review, and see you at the next one.